Good morning and welcome to Friday. Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there, all you vets out there. Thank you so much for your service. And man, we deserve better, don't we? All the vets deserve better. Everybody that's put their life on the line for us, you would think we'd be able to count some votes, wouldn't you? Just absolutely embarrassing. I reached out to my brother this morning to wish him a happy Veterans Day. A lot of you know my brother is a retired colonel who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and thank him for his service. But he was awarded, he lives in Illinois as well, by the way. Kind of ironic that he lives there. My son lives there as well. Chicago's Crane Magazine's 2022 Notable Veteran Executives of the Year. He was one of 22 veterans recognized, and part of the award, his son, my nephew, Mad Max, they're going to pay for the last 2.5 years of his college. So a big shout out to Big Brother and to all you vets out there. I hope you have a great day. If you see a vet, buy him lunch today, buy him breakfast, buy him dinner. If nothing else, go up to them and thank them for their service. And God bless America. 800-951-0592 is our toll-free number. Get used to me saying this. Gold is up again. This time now another $14, $17.68. Silver's kind of flat lying here right now, $21.60 on silver. Of course, we had that massive rally yesterday. The Dow was finished up over 1,000 points. It's down 144 today. The big crypto exchange has filed for bankruptcy today. Next week will be interesting. I think we'll find out if there's contagion in crypto land. This thing may not be over. Let's hope not. But they're talking now, Jason, that this thing may have been a total Ponzi scheme all along.
Yeah, I actually saw somebody suggesting that the government should come in and bail this thing out. I actually saw that.
Well, you had guys like Tom Brady, Stephen Curry, the Ontario's pension fund. They came out, said their entire investment completely wiped out. It is going to have a major impact on their retirees. And we'll find out. We're going to find out. There's a lot of bodies buried in this thing. Let's hope it's isolated because, and I've said this from the beginning, I loved the idea of crypto. But this little thing that's happened here today is not good because if nothing else, let's just say and hope there's no contagion here, because if there is, a lot more of these pension funds, a lot more of these individuals are really going to get wiped out because you lose everything. There's nothing there. And that's the biggest problem with it all. But government regulation, which has already started, we've already seen a tremendous amount. Jason, we're going to see a lot more of it, which really defeats the whole purpose of the crypto to begin with.
Yeah, you get a couple of celebrities losing their money, athletes, and suddenly they'll be the face of regulation on cryptos. I've seen some of these guys that are crypto buyers say, hey, I can't wait for it to drop to 2,000, Bitcoin 2,000, because they think it's going to go all the way down there, and then it's still going to be a buying opportunity because they think crypto's here to stay. So if you got guys saying 2,000 Bitcoin, Joe, there's some people that must know what's going on there.
Yeah, so we'll watch it. We don't do a lot on the crypto stuff. I know a lot of people have been calling my son, and he's been warning people to stay away. I talked to him briefly yesterday. He's got the same message. Stay away. And if you want to reach out to him, he'll gladly tell you when he thinks it's time. But, Jason, he thinks it's going lower as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of pain coming in the next year because the inflation is well entrenched, and I think it's been played to be like this. I think the Fed wanted it to be this way, the powers that be, and so it's you're going to see some of these asset prices really take a big punch to the face here in the next 12 months.
Yeah, it's going to get significantly uglier here as these earnings keep rolling in. I did get 3, 4, 5 more layoff announcements, so it's starting to pick up here. We'll get to those. But yesterday's rally, I mean, it was huge on Wall Street. Goldman Sachs came out this morning. Yesterday's rip higher was not at all healthy, led by the lowest quality and most hated stocks. So be careful here. I think this was, and again, Jason, I think we did a good job of setting everybody up. We told you this was going to be coming. It was more of a numbers thing than anything to deal in actual realities of things. And I think Goldman's note today kind of saying the same thing, right? Hey, it was nice, and everybody should be happy about it. But yeah, if you own some of these stocks that they're talking about, these low-quality stocks, it may just be a selling opportunity, Jason.
And I think a lot of these Wall Streeters think that the rate hikes pain, that the majority of it's behind us. I think that's what a lot of these guys are, and so they win as okay, because they always want to buy in at the bottom, right, Joe? Oh, this has to be the bottom because look, the CPI is lower. It's going to get better and better, and they don't understand that there's much more than just a CPI number. They have to look at the world as a whole, Joe, before you decide whether a market's at the bottom. So I think a lot of this is guys thinking they're timing the bottom, and they're just going to be wrong, Joe.
We're going to be back when we get back. We'll go over the layoff announcements, where they're at. This is not just tech anymore. We'll keep our eyes on that, and we'll talk auto loan delinquencies. Don't touch that dial. (800-951-0592). Joe and Jason, Patriot Radio News Hour. Jason's taking care of some customers up in Colorado. We got a pretty cool special today. This is it's our utility silver, junk silver, whatever you want to call it, special. A roll of halves, roll of half dollars. That's 20 silver half dollars. A roll of silver quarters, that's 40 silver quarters, and then 2 rolls of silver dimes. So 2 rolls of silver dimes, that's 100 silver dimes. That's 160 silver coins in all. If you buy the set, so 1 roll of silver halves, 1 roll of silver quarters, 2 rolls of silver dimes, it's $800 for the 160 silver coins. If you buy 10 rolls or more, you're going to save $10 a package. So $7,900. If you bought 10 packages, you'd save yourself $100. And then for all you vets out there, anybody who places an order, just tell the girls, hey, I'm a veteran or I'm active duty. Any of those things work. We're going to give a free Ike dollar to every vet that orders today. The first 20 vets, we've got a really cool package here. It's got, it's in a little, I'll call it a flat plastic package here. You've got the Ike silver dollar in it, and then on the left side, I would call it like I'm a golfer. This would be a really cool ball marker. This blue disc, the Eisenhower uncirculated silver dollar, and then it's got the American Eagle on it, and it's a pretty cool deal. Any vet, any active duty military, when you place an order today, you're going to get a free one of those. And again, thank you all so much for your service. And maybe if we spend a little more time thinking about that, we could come together and end all of the horrible rhetoric that's out there. But somehow I doubt it. Let's get to these layoffs. We'll start with Comcast, the cable provider. They said that they are laying off. They didn't give a number, but they said a small amount of layoffs. And not huge there. It's not like Meta 11,000, but this is just another industry where all of a sudden, hey, we went from hiring to firing. Salesforce, they've announced that they've laid off hundreds of its employees. And Salesforce, this is kind of interesting. I guess technically it's a tech company, but they do a lot of payroll and things of that, a lot of small business related type things. And again, we've been talking about small business and their struggles here. Salesforce announcing that they're laying off hundreds. Yesterday we told you about FedEx and the parking of planes. Wall Street, we talked about Citigroup starting layoffs. They've been joined yesterday. I want to make sure, I want to say it was Deutsche Bank announced that they were going to be laying off as well. And then refiner Phillips 66, this is a refiner, says they're laying off 1,100 workers. Pretty big. That one kind of caught me off guard a little bit. And then I've been waiting for these. I've been warning about these. Builder First Source says that they're going to be laying off 2,600 jobs nationwide due to the slowdown in construction. Obviously higher mortgage rates. This is Atlanta-based Pulte Group, another one of these home builders. 28% year-over-year decline for them. Taylor Morrison, both of these, by the way, have big divisions here in Arizona. It was even worse, almost a 40% decline. But our first major layoffs in the home building industry, First Source saying that they're laying off 2,600. And then C.H. Robinson, they are one of the major trucking groups. The CEO came out, said they got ahead of themselves in headcount, didn't expect freight markets to cool as fast as they did. They've laid off 650 employees this week. Sources close to the situation said the number is more like 1,200. So as we see these layoffs now, it's been almost all tech. And now we're starting to see different areas. Freight, right? FedEx grounding planes, Maserek canceling ships, C.H. Robinson now saying, hey, this is truckers getting laid off. And then, of course, layoffs started. We've seen it in the mortgage industry, but now in the home builders. And I imagine as they get through this backlog, because we know, like, hey, there's no countertops, there's no garage doors, there's no bathroom fixtures. As all of these things come in, my guess is this will continue. It's getting worse, but let's be honest, from a really low number. So there's still work to be done. This is still not enough. Still not enough to move the needle. I mean, we had jobless claims yesterday. They were a little higher, 225,000. We need to see at least 275 to 300 on those ones. And then in the auto industry, auto delinquencies, Jason, hit a 10-year high, according to the latest data this week. So we did a story about auto delinquencies like a week and a half ago, and it was going up, but it still looked pretty good. And apparently, come the beginning of this month, the beginning of November, a lot of people lost interest in paying their car loan.
Yeah, that wasn't set up to the car industry after coronavirus. Then you had the chip shortages, and then you had these huge overly priced cars last year, 2021, and it looked like there was this lack of, you had the largest price rise in any asset class was used cars, Joe. So here these people are coming in buying cars for high prices, and then this year the interest rates started going up. So the cars that were purchased last year for higher prices and the ones this year with higher interest rates, the possibility of a huge apocalypse and non-paying on car loans is big. It's almost I've heard it compared to a subprime crashing on car loans because, well, people are buying cars and now the cars are worth less than the loans and people are just walking away from them just like houses.
Yeah, and I'm looking here. Listen to this, and I didn't realize they got this high. The average used car loan now 9.7%. That's big. Yep. That's really big. New cars now the average a little over 5%. So just in a couple of weeks, we've seen a big jump in auto loan, at least being now 60 days, 30 days. Unfortunately, 90 days, that starts the default process at a 10-year high. WeWork with this was a great idea, I thought. They bought like big office buildings. You know, think about big cities and high rises. And they had I thought a really good idea, Jason. They were like, hey, we're going to be there for small businesses. You know, hey, maybe it's just you and a secretary or you and a couple of employees. You could rent out an office in a nice building, and you would have or they would provide a receptionist, you know, for all the different offices in there. You know, kind of make you look a little more professional, maybe a little more higher end than you were. Well, apparently that experiment not going very well. They will close 40 U.S. locations. Just saying, Jason, the demand for office building isn't there. And then Redfin has announced that it's laying off 13% of its employees, and of course, more real estate related.
Wow, there you go. Well, I was looking at other news as you were speaking, Joe. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, man. Holy cow!
Yeah,
man.
Listen, there's definitely been an increase, right? It started last week. This week, we're seeing more of it. So we'll have to wait and see, but so far anyway, I think next Thursday, the next couple of Thursdays should give us a decent indicator. Of course, we got Thanksgiving coming, so that'll screw up the numbers for a couple of weeks here. But we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on jobless claims. The higher jobless claims get, I'll just draw this correlation real quick, Jason. The higher jobless claims get, the higher the gold price goes.
Yeah, I agree. And how high do you think that number has to be before they actually change what they're doing? I mean, that's kind of like the CPI number. That has to get to a certain level before people start to see a change, right? How many?
Yeah,
on that
300,000.
300,000.
At 300,000, 275. Wall Street and the TV's going to be squawking. But when those claims get over 300,000, then that's cause for concern. And remember, Jay Powell has been very clear on this. He would like 2 million people to lose their job. I don't know how you pull that trick off, right? I mean, I'm sorry. Apparently, he has the magic fairy job wand where, okay, I got the 2 million. Guess what? I'm waving my wand. And nobody lay off anybody else. Jason, this is I've never heard of such idiocracy of a central banker saying, yes, we would love it if a couple of million people would just lose their job.
Yeah, and I don't know if you'll see the numbers you're asking about until maybe January. I mean, I'm already seeing Christmas tree stands popping up here. So how are you going to file a jobless claim if you're desperate to get your bills paid? You just jump to the next job. You're not going to file a claim if you jump to a seasonal job, Joe, so that it could take till January for those bigger numbers.
Again, I think it's going to be past January. I think we're talking February, March. We've got a ways to go. Like I said, I know it sounded like a lot today, and it was. And it's a lot because we haven't been doing this for the last 2 years, right? There really hasn't been layoffs. And again, I think we'll keep an eye, too, on the next jobs number. That'll be the first week of December. We'll look at Challenger, Gray, and Crispus. How many planned layoffs are they seeing? Last month was 50,000. Are we going to see a number like 100,000 or 150,000? That'll be another good indicator. If that number's still below 100,000, like Jason, like you said, that just means it's going to take longer, which means rates are higher.
Yep, and rates go higher, and then the market suffers even more and more. We'll see, Joe. Well, yeah, I think your timeline's pretty good. I think February we're going to see some stuff happening, and you had said maybe May of next year is when really we see.
Well, I think May. Let me clarify. I'm glad you brought that up. I want to clarify this for everybody. May, I think, is going to be the last rate hike. How's that?
Okay.
It'll be broken by May. It may be July, but I think May is when you're going to hear the Fed talking about, hey, we're going to take a pause. And I don't think they'll ever come back from the pause, but that's kind of my time horizon in all of this. We'll see if I'm right. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back. 800-951-0592. Really cool utility silver special today. It's a roll of $half. That's 20 silver $half. These are all 1964 and older. And it's hilarious when you think about how valuable our money used to be. Think about it. It used to be gold and silver, right? You had $20 gold pieces, $10 gold pieces, $5 gold pieces. You had Morgan dollars, peace dollars. You had your utility silver, right? Your dimes, your quarters, and your $half. That was the money. And we gave this to the central banks. And central banks, listen, it's so simple to understand, and yet somehow they've convoluted it so much that most people don't understand it. Their job is to devalue. Why would we want to devalue our money? Why would we want to devalue what we work so hard for? And of course, when they screw it up, which they've done now, right? We have huge bubbles. We have massive inflation, right? People out there working two and three jobs. It used to be, think about this, all the way till about 1970. Let's call it 1971 when they finally closed the gold window, Jason. One parent working was plenty. Now, it's got to be both parents working, and a lot of times one or both of those parents are working multiple jobs. And think about what we're talking about here. 20 $half, that's $10 face value. 40 silver quarters, it's another $10. 2 rolls of dimes, it's another $10. So this package in 1964, you had $30. It's on sale. Heck, we're most likely the cheapest place in the country on it at $800. If you buy 10 packages, save $10 a package, it'd be $7,900. But they took something that was $30, and it's now $800. And listen, everybody and their mother out there knows how undervalued silver is right now. So imagine what it should be worth, Jason.
My great-grandfather, starting in 1965, when they changed the dimes, quarters, and halves over, started putting every dime, quarter, and $half out of his change from purchases into jars right away from the beginning. And it's interesting. My family, I consider my family fairly smart people, but none of my aunts, uncles, grandparents grand uncles. None of them saved the silver aside like great grandfather did. And great grandpa, I think he came over. Man, his dad brought him over here like late 1800s, early 1900s, and he lived here his whole life. And back in the Russian Germans, Joe, they weren't allowed to have coins at all. They left Germany because it wasn't looking too good there, and they went into this Russian area, which is German, and the Russian Germans then found out that, Russia's early 1900s, the Bolsheviks and taking out the Tsars are like, this isn't good here, let's just go to America. And they were fascinated with the idea that you could actually possess and own coins. I mean, Joe, the inflation, they took the gold out in 33, they took the silver out in 65. They took the copper out of the penny in 82, and what's funny, Joe, is pennies, if you go back far enough, they used to be as big as half dollars. A full copper penny used to be as big as a half dollar. That was what 1 cent worth of copper used to be, 100 and some years ago, right? And then they shrank the penny down during the Civil War, and then in 1982, there's just too much copper in that penny. A 1982 copper penny has been as high as 3 cents worth of copper. That just shows you how the currency, the Federal Reserve notes, have been devalued on a rapid rate. And you're getting, 27x times the silver value of face value, Joe, on this silver package. It's crazy that $30 worth of coins that was just spent for $30 by my great-grandfather and my other relatives in the 60s is now $800. And that's just because the silver's not more valuable, Joe. It's your dollars have been just destroyed.
And in 58 years, they've taken away, devalued that to the point of like $13 a year on this $30. I mean, and of course they're talking about 2% inflation. I mean, this is nonsense. And again, this is with silver prices we know are not at true levels. I can't wait. When silver's in the 30s, and I think silver's going to be in the 30s next year. What is this package going to be then? 1,000, 1,200? I mean, I don't know.
1,600. It'll be 60 in the 30s, Joe. You could see $1,500 for this. Absolutely, we know that the buying has not ceased. I don't see the buying ceasing late this year, early next year. So the premiums will just stay high also as the price goes up.
Yeah, exactly. And for all you veterans, no matter what you buy, you don't even have to buy this package. Whatever you buy, let our girls know if you're a veteran. We got this really cool Ike Dollar package. You got the Ike Dollar in it. And then, I call it like a ball marker out on the golf course with the Eisenhower uncirculated silver dollar with the American Eagle on it. That it's a blue chip, if you will. So it's pretty cool. And again, thanks to all the veterans out there. Same with active duty. If you're active duty, that qualifies as well. 800-951-0592. U.S. consumer sentiment here. Way below expectation. The Dow is doubled its losses here. It obviously had a huge day yesterday, but down almost 300 points as this number. And again, I always kind of make fun of the consumer sentiment number because I guess it just depends. Did you maybe you talk to a bunch of Republicans who were unhappy about the red wave, but it fell in November. And pretty significantly, the number came in at 54. This is a number, Jason, they like to see around 100. So we're down here quite a ways.
Yeah, Joe. So we'll. I was looking at. I got distracted. I'm getting ready for the half-empty cup of Joe. I can't wait for Glenn Tate to come on with
Glenn
us.
Tate.
Yeah. So
I'm only laughing because if you guys know Jason and Glenn, they view we do a lot of politics on that segment, and they have very, very different expectations about things. So I know this. I think we're going to get a very disappointed Glenn Tate today on the Half Empty Cup. Patriot Radio News Hour. Hey, we're going to be right back. 800-951-0592. I just had two lines pop back open. If you're trying to get in, you got the voicemail, call us back in here, 800-951-0592. We got our utility silver special. It's a roll of silver half dollars, a roll of silver quarters, 2 rolls of silver dimes. It's 160 silver coins in all. Think about this: 1964, that was $30. The 160, if you will, the 4 containers, $800. If you buy 10 or more, $790. And just some back of the page math here. That's a devaluation of almost. Actually, it's a little more than $13 a year, Jason.
That's right, Joe. And as you were doing the show, and I've been a little distracted today, but I was just thinking things like, I wonder if Tom Brady owns gold. As his Bitcoin is crashing, I wonder if Kyrie Irving owns gold, because this guy's making decisions that is making him lose money.
Steph Curry, right? And,
yes.
And again, they lost every cent they put in it. It's gone.
Right. Well, and I'm talking about just even not just Bitcoin, but like Kyrie Irving, he made some statements, and he knew that when he made certain statements, he was going to get punished, not getting vaccinated. I think about Alex Jones. Does he own any gold? Because these guys, they have money, Joe, and you want to think that they're smart enough to make sure they have something sitting on the side, because they're bringing a lot of heat for decisions they made or things they've said. And I don't know. It always makes me think. And then I think about the special today, and it's like, every one of us out there, we got things that happen in life, and you have to have that cushion sitting on the side, because you don't want to have to stand up for your freedoms or your rights and suffer
something where you wake up one day. Like I saw, they froze all Alex Jones's assets as an example. Well, you can't freeze physical gold and silver that you own in your own home. And that's going to be something, especially as digital currency gets here. That's going to happen more and more. I'll use the Canadian trucker strike. This is going to be a weapon for government now. When we get to that digital currency, that will be a weapon for them. It's going to be vital that you have something that isn't a digital asset like a 401k and an IRA. The same thing with your bank account. That's where physical gold and silver comes in. It will allow you to still operate even if those things happen. So the utility special, a roll of halves, a roll of quarters, 2 rolls of silver dimes, $800. You buy 10 packages or more, save $10 a package at $790 or $7,900 for 10 packages at 800-951-0592. And all you vets out there, when you order today, just let the girls know, hey, I'm a vet or I'm current active duty military. We got this cool little Ike dollar set that we're going to give to you absolutely free. And Jason, I just looked into the consumer number, this consumer sentiment number. It was really ugly. The headline print went from 60 to 54.7, but the big drop. So this number, we've been watching this number, and everybody was saying the same thing pretty much all year long while inflation was raging. Hey, I'm okay right now, but I'm worried 6 months from now. That was the consumer sentiment number up until this number. Apparently, it's caught up with them. The biggest drop was in the magnitude that they were talking about. What are your current conditions? And Jason, that's where they saw the big drop. Apparently, people are no longer worried about what's going to be coming 6 months. They're worried about right now. Yeah,
well, and let's face it, there's a lot of pressure out there to, the silly season's coming, and there's Christmas and buying presents for people, and all this stuff comes up, and
that's stressful.
It's stressful. The elections also are just taking off. All this stuff happening in the last month and a half of the year, and people are looking at their pockets, and they're empty. Joey, something I want to continue. We don't talk about as much as I think we should, but if you have metals that you need to sell to get through a tough period like the next few months, I just bought some $50 from a customer, and it's a really easy process. You call Arizona or you call over here to Colorado, and we get you in. We set a price. We settle up. It's very private. It's very discreet and easy to do, Joe. It's one of the reasons why I think a lot of the customers are loyal to Patriot is because there's a front end. You got to buy the $800 package now, but 5-10 years from now, you may have to bring that package back and cash it out for whatever it means, and we handle that side too. So please call us at 800-951-0592, Joe, because we handle that side also.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, that's what you have it for, And it's always the same. Nobody likes selling their gold and silver. But when those times are there, Patriot is here for you. That's one of the advantages. We've been here. What is this, year 26, something like that? I think we're getting ready for year 27. We've been here and been doing this for a long time, and we'll continue to do it for a long time. We've got a spike in oil. China has announced they are going to ease some of these COVID shutdowns, and they've been shutting down. This has probably kept oil prices at least $10 to $20 a barrel less because of the fact they continue to shut down these cities, and it's never ending. And today there's been a lot of speculation. Today, for the first time, China has announced that they're going to ease up on these COVID restrictions. And then, of course, we found out this week they've ramped up oil purchases. So we'll see how this plays out. There's another factor. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. At least one organization has called the Arizona Senate race. Mark Kelly defeating Blake Masters, according to Cook Political Report. This just breaking. That would put us at 49 for the Democrats, and Alaska's going to go Republican. 49 for the Republicans. That leaves Nevada and Georgia. In that Nevada race, the Republicans ahead, but that race got tighter now. That's less than 1% there. And then, of course, we know Georgia's going to the runoff. But this is not, I guess, I haven't seen like ABC or CNN or Fox call the race yet, but at least somebody's calling a race. In Arizona, I don't know what our problem is. We're not going to know. All the votes won't be counted till like mid next week, Jason.
So you said it's 49-49, is that what you said?
Yeah, 49-49 if you give Kelly the victory like this group has, because Alaska, it's two Republicans in Alaska that are battling for the win, so I don't know why that hasn't been called yet. But that just leaves Nevada and then, of course, the Georgia runoff. And I did look in at Nevada during the break, and that is 49-48, the Republican ahead with 88% of the vote in. So we'll keep our eye on that. And really quickly, I checked in on the dollar. And let me tell you how fast things have changed. Remember the yen, they were just trying to keep it below 150. The yen's at 139 this morning. The euro, which has been below $1 for 2-3 months, at 103. The pound, which was close to $1. Remember the pound was, they lost control there. The pound at 118. So this is one of the biggest declines in the dollar that we've seen in quite some time, Jason.
Yeah, well, the dollar is what's crazy about these currencies. They're always compared against each other, Joe, and really the best way.
Right.
The best way to compare is compare it against gold. I mean, you should just compare all currencies against gold. That's really how it should be done. If you think about it, Joe, all these currencies' strength should be compared against a commodity of some sort. Then you will know how strong the currencies are. When they're compared to each other, the dollar was looking so strong and powerful, and now it's going down. But is it really going down a whole lot? These are currencies. They're all bad, Joe. They're all bad in that you compare them to each other. Yes, it does mean really good returns for gold when the dollar's down, Joe.
Yeah, this is the pattern. I think we're going to see dollar weakness for several years as the interest rates slow down. Like I said, this is just my call. I don't have any big information here. In the next 6 months, I think things will have deteriorated to the point where the Fed is going to cry uncle. We're going to be nowhere near 2% inflation, and this is going to be and I know it's hard. You're like, man, gold's $17.68. It's $12 away from being up 10% in a week. And you think, well, man, maybe I missed it. This has just started. This is nowhere close to the top. You haven't missed anything. This time next year, you'll be elated with yourself that you're buying gold at $17.68, buying silver at $21.60. This is a great opportunity here. 800-951-0592. The utility special, $800. Buy 10 packages or more, $790. Thank you once again, all you vets out there.